Hi, hey. So I wanted to talk about Burnout Syndrome, episode 3, but this I have a lot of scenes that I want to talk about, but I feel like I need visuals for this to really make clear where I'm coming from on some of this stuff because I see a lot of discourse around a lot of the different stuff, and I have uh, things that I'm seeing that I don't know that everyone else is seeing or they see it in a different way. So I just want to explain what I see when I see these moments. Um, I want to start with this one because this one is the one I keep hearing discussed, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, were we watching the same scene? I see a lot of people frustrated. One with Co calling and like blocking this situation we see down here, but also annoyed with Jira for taking the call and annoyed with Jira for leaving and how Pheem is just left, and they could have there could have been something there, but if Co hadn't called and Jira hadn't taken the call, yada yada. But the only person I see who got truly in the way of this happening is Pheem. I see Pheem as kind of a weak character where Jira is strong and doesn't know it, and Co is just kind of a dick. He's just kind of like zero social skills, just raw dogging through life. Well, no, actually, I feel like Jira raw dogs through life, and Ko is very intentional in the way that he has his walls very tightly built up around him. So the only two people actually he has let in this moment is Jira and Pheem, the two people who are trying to sleep together right now. Okay, so I don't want to take too long. I want to watch the scene and talk to you about what I see when I watched this scene because I feel like everybody saw something else. So here we are. It's about to go down. Everything's happening the way it should. It's very smooth, Pheem, but this is not the first time Pheem's done this. Pheem does this a lot. This is what Pheem does. And boom, here we get the first time Co
ให้
calls.
โทรมา
ให้ก่อน
He hears Co and immediately turns off the music. Like he's like, oh, well, I guess this is over. Co calling doesn't make him, I mean, Co could have called whatever. He doesn't even wait for Jira to respond. He says Co is calling him, and Pheem immediately turns off the music. He's like, well,
เอ้าไม่รับอ่ะ
เลยเวลางานแล้วอะ
ของจริงว่ะถ้าเป็นกูทำไม่ได้นะมันโทรมากูต้องรับตลอดอะ
I couldn't do that. I always take his calls. The shock he has that Jira is willing to say no to this man that he's known since childhood that he clearly can't say no to. Like already Jira is a stronger person than Pheem when it comes to Co.
มองหน้ากูดิกูไม่เห็นกลัวเลย
And now we're back in.
มองแบบเนี้ยจะสื่ออะไร
ก็มึงบอกให้มองอ่ะ
ตามเจ้าชู้นะทำแบบนี้กับทุกคนหรือเปล่า
แล้วถ้ากูบอกว่ากูทำกับแค่มึงคนเดียวอะเชื่อเปล่า
That response right there is very loaded to me because we have Jira who's like recognizing he knew from the jump what kind of person Peen probably was, that he was picking up people at this place, right? But his answer wasn't even an answer. Like, yeah, I do, but today it's about you. Could have been like closer to the truth, right? But he's like, if I told you you were the only one, would you even believe me? Is what I heard when he said that. Now, somebody else could have heard it very differently. I think that's what's so interesting about this show is we hear the same lines in different ways. So that was just my takeaway of that. And at first I was like, he lied, but he didn't really lie. He just said, if I tell you what you want to hear, or I don't even know if that's what Jiro wants to hear, but if I tell you you're the only one I want to be with right now, Would you believe me? Then we're back to it. I know he's distracted by the call, but also he's just distracted. Like, I feel like Pheem is putting in good work. Like, Pheem is doing what Pheem needs to be doing. I don't see somebody who is into this at all. Do you know what I mean? Because he wouldn't even have picked up the phone. Honestly, if like many of you said, he would have just turned it off. That's a choice Jira made. Just turn it off and get back to it. He doesn't. But he also is not trying to answer that phone either.
Don't รับแล้วปะเผื่อมีเรื่องสำคัญ
The person who decides to answer the phone is Pheem, not Jira. It's just so, I don't know why I'm so stuck on it, but I find it really interesting how easily Pheem is willing to give in to what Ko wants. It makes me think about the fact that it took Jira a couple of days with Ko to quit. Pheem is over here firing his entire department for this man, doing things he doesn't really want to be doing. But I'm sure there's some like childhood bond that keeps them this tightly connected. But it's so interesting to me how Jira can walk away from him or say no to him or just not pick up his calls. But Pheem is like, it could be important. You should pick it up. To me, at this point, Jira was never coming back to that couch. The minute he picked up that phone, he was disconnected from all of this.
คุณอยู่ไหน
ผมอยู่กับเพื่อนอ่ะ
คุณมาหาผมเดี๋ยวนี้เลย
นี่คุณใช้ผมเนี่ยให้มีลิมิตเลยนะคุณให้ผมทำงานเยอะไปแล้วนะ
ผมให้ค่าจ้างคุณเพิ่มก็ได้ แต่คุณต้องมาตอนนี้ ไม่งั้นดีลที่เราคุยไว้ก็จบ
He does have a choice again in this moment.
เอายังไง จะมาหรือไม่มา
แม่ง
Now, I don't think 100% he wanted to leave. I kind of take back where I was with this before, but he did have a choice in that moment. I find it so interesting because every time I hear this scene talked about, it's Ko called, blocked the situation. Jira should have turned off his phone. That's like the I see video after video, Twitter after tweet after tweet, and I'm like, why was Pheem so ready to answer Ko's call? Why is Pheem so willing to just be the whatever Ko wants? Like, I find Pheem's behavior way more interesting, and I think he is honestly a huge part of the reason why that moment didn't happen, because of his loyalty and his need to follow the commands or demands of Ko in a way that Jira will push back on. And I'm curious to see how all of that plays out. Okay, that's one of my videos. I will do more, I think, if this little layout works the way I want. Okay, that's all. Bye. Oh no. Okay, bye.